Welcome to The Shift, a place where real people have real discussions in search of the truths inside and outside the modern day church. You can find us at theshiftpodcast.info or connect with us on your favorite social media platform.
So funny. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Hey guys. Making a graphic. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome. Making a graphic and we were just chatting. So
And we were like getting riled up and I was like, we need to record.
So welcome.
Yes. We're going to talk about portals today.
Yes. Let's talk about what those things are.
I'm not going to lie. There's a part here's like truth telling real quick. I have a love-hate with doing this YouTube thing. Like seriously, because we can't just sit around and like look like homeless. Oh, I guess we really could. But I mean, I don't, sometimes I just don't think that y'all want to see us looking like homeless people. Or I haven't showered and I've been in the sauna. I'm not even gonna go. But anyway, but I am extra and I do use a lot of hand. Like I'm very demonstrative. That's what it is. And so like I'm catching myself like chill out, Megan, because when I talk, I'm very animated. And so I'm like, just chill out, quit moving around so much. And when we did it on audio, who cares what is but happening? So
now you guys know the real deal.
it's like love-hate with that kind of thing. But anyways, I'm only dressed up because I gotta be somewhere.
Sure.
No, really. But I did put extra blush on because I am washed out from whatever light is coming in my window, and I am not sick.
He was looking like Edward Cullen. Like a glittery vampire.
I'm like, I'm so white.
Do you guys hear my dogs? They're like going crazy. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but
really like wow. It sounds like your stomach's growling.
It's not gas, it's my dogs, I swear.
What they always say.
You'll see them run by if you're watching that.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you showed me some crazy pictures.
Yes. Okay. So I did. I was, I'm always looking at things that I see that come across my line of vision. The things I see, right? And so I noticed a long time ago, not that long ago, what was it, 2 years ago, year ago, the Astro World thing. I don't know if you guys remember that. So there was
Didn't we podcast about that?
We probably did. We talk about everything else that's taboo. So I was thinking about this Astro World thing when it happened, and I'm like, gosh, that's like a portal. And to get into the conference. It's not church, but it's like church. To get into the concert, sorry, both have music, both worship people. I don't know. So to get into same thing. So to get into the concert, they showed like this mouth. It was a big head, and like the mouth was open, and people had to walk through. I'm sorry if those of you are watching the video, I'm waving funny. My hand is weird. My son is in here, not in his underwear. Those shorts are just kind of small. And say hi to our podcast, Emery.
Hello.
So anyway, my hand, I was saying about my hand, I had carpal tunnel surgery and it's a thing. So I look really strange. Can you, Emery, please take our dogs out so I can collect my thoughts while I'm on here? Don't take them out. Just take them in the other room. Anyway, so my house is falling apart because I'm talking about portals. So everybody entered into.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so if you look at the layout for the concert, you would have to walk through this mouth of this person, and it looked like some weird stuff that was going on. And the stage itself was like a mountain, and it had like big circles, like a big circle, you like right in the middle of it. Yeah. And it almost looked like it was what's the word I'm looking for? Like it was well, I know what I'm looking I know what I'm seeing and what I'm thinking. I don't want to say it, but it looked canal-ish, right? Like it had like different layers of it or whatever, like you could pass through and go into a certain place. But in watching that, I was like, gosh, it's like a portal. And a lot of the shirts for that concert, it showed children walking through one color with one thing on their head, and when they came through the circle, then they were a different color with a different shape on their head. And that was like a transitioning kind of thing, and that was a blood sacrifice that happened in Texas.
Yeah, in Texas.
Whatever it was that they were whatever it was that they were worshiping. These dogs are going crazy.
Oh my gosh.
It's making me nuts. Literally fighting over like a toy right now. Anyway, so I took note of it and I remembered it. So then I, like, how you get these videos on Instagram or wherever, and they suggest like reels for you. And I was seeing these videos of Beyonce's concert because she's got her daughter out there now. And her daughter is dancing for her and part of her dance team or whatever. And it was just everywhere. And behind her, you could see this big metal circle, the same thing like was going on at Astro World. And I just happened to be flipping through this.
So Astro World was November 20th, 2021.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I happened to be looking at this well-known speaker's Instagram account, and I come across a photo of another speaker where this person is at a conference, not a concert, at a conference.
No, I'm listening to you.
No, you're fine. And behind them is this a smaller scale, but this same big metal circle going on. And in it is like an image of a person. So it's like they're using it as a screen, but if you look at it that way, it's like it's projecting an image into this circle. Yeah. And I'm going, wow, has this concept of this portal thing being shown on stage as part of their getup now leaked into the church, like first in the earth and now in the church. So I'm seeing this circle, and you have this
it's weird.
It is weird. It is like it's just like a theme I'm starting to see pop up.
Yeah, I want to like blur it. I want to blur everything out and just show the blur with just the picture. We should have done that so we could.
We'll post it on our Instagram and on our Facebook page.
Oh my god!
When I get a chance to clean it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and it's just interesting. I'm watching some of these things. We love the people. We love the person who posted it. It's it's nothing bad or negative about that. It's just it's interesting to see how things get adopted in, and really it puts an importance on the creativity, like on the creatives. Yeah. How important is it that these creatives come up with a thing and then it gets utilized in the church? We should be creating our own stuff, I think. I mean, I guess we can look at portals as well. I mean, I guess we should define portal, but I think we can look at portals almost kind of the same as like a well of revival, where something can come through it. Maybe a well of revival is a little more descriptive of like a birthplace, and a place where an outpouring comes. But a portal, to me, it's like, I was telling Megan, I almost feel like it is like it's like Super Mario Brothers, boop, 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 and they go down through the tube. And so it's where something has been built, a time, a place, something has been set apart for that travel, or an access point, a foothold, something like that has happened.
Yeah, just basic dictionary: a doorway, a gate, or other entrance, especially a large and imposing one.
Yeah, that's the thing. So what are your thoughts on the portal? I think an altar almost has to be built to something and a foothold allowed. And then that's it, really. I mean, and an altar doesn't have to be that we build a massive altar and light a fire. I mean, I think it can be just as simple as
Um,
designating a time and energy to that thing.
I think that we live multidimensional, and I absolutely think that there is frequency and stuff that has the ability to open up different dimensions. I mean, we call it, if you're not like, it's quantum physics is what it is. And so quantitative, it just means it's uh like multi there. I'm trying to like make it to where it's not that. But anyway, so I absolutely, okay, number one, I have okay, let me go, I'll just go back to a personal experience and then we can move on from there. And you've seen it as well, more recently. I've seen a portal open in quite a few places. Over the summer, we actually had a couple of experiences like that. But my first one was I was living in Nashville. Man, it was probably like 2005, 2004. And I was in like a like really hungry, like deep spiritual time in my life. And at that point, I think the Lord was really showing me a lot of things, but there's nothing really crazy going on. But I had this like insatiable appetite for the Lord and just the presence of the Lord. And this is when I really started seeing angels all the time, where I didn't really have that. I saw like the bad stuff all growing up, but it was really just spectacular what was happening. And so I was sitting in my bed, and we had this one wall was like glass that went out into the backyard, and it was really beautiful. And I'm just sitting there, and I don't know if I was reading my Bible, I don't know if I was praying, and I sort of just looked straight up, and it's like a mirage is in front of me. Like if I was outside and the heat was coming up from the ground, but it was like coming this way. And at first I was like, do I have like a film over my eyes? Like, this is so weird. But then, and I didn't want to move, when like weird things happen, and I'm starting to like trying to process it in my mind. And, by this time I've been like born again for like 5 years. And I'm like, this is weird. But I'm like thinking like, I think I see something coming out, like not just the mirage, but like something walked out of it. And these are like with my eyeballs. And so and at the time my brother was living with us, and it was like our part of our house, and it was like an old barn, so it was like this big U shape. So we're not even in the same vicinity. And his room is like over on the other side of the thing. But and I'm like overwhelmed. I'm like, I don't want to move. I don't know what's going on. I feel like there's something, and it sort of like goes over into the corner of my room. My brother walks in, and he's not like crazy spirit. He's just this stuff isn't like that big of a deal. And he walks. He's like, oh my gosh. And he just walks over to the corner of the room and reaches his hand out. Then he's like, he's holding my hand. And
Oh,
I'm like, what is happening? Right? What's
no.
going on right now? And so that was probably one of the few times I've seen a portal like open up this way, like
Mhm.
sideways, like something coming into that. And most of the time, like I see them above. Um, but I do know, so I know somebody that was like, we had a portal to hell in our house for years. And
Mhm.
because a family member was doing horrible, horrible things there. And and this guy was like, this is why they come in and out of it, and they torment me, and I do these horrible things. And so I've been in the house since, and it's not there, but it's like there's a weird sensation and knowing that there was like, and not a sensation like I have knowledge and so my body is like reacting to it. It's like I know
Something in your very being just knows,
knows
right?
that there
Just a
was
response.
there
Yeah.
something there. So like I believe in that. I mean, me now, I would have tried to walk through my glass.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm coming in. Yeah. Right.
So I'm like, so that thing came out and I'm coming in. And so I think it was an angel. Like my brother was like, I think it was Jesus. And so I don't know, but it was now thinking back, it's just funny because people, if they have super charismatic experiences, you just giggle about how people respond to things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
So
remember
I believe it.
we did that Christmas thing in my house too. That was one that sticks out to me just to
Oh,
get.
yes, that was a side one too. I did see
Yeah.
another side one. Oh,
That was crazy. For me, I felt like there was something that was being like that was up high though, that was pulling the sound up. Now I know there was side, like the side thing, but I felt like there was something it was almost like I saw an opening up also. And when it opened up, it was almost like it was just receiving what was happening at that time. In that moment, I heard angels in the staircase behind me. I was seated in the staircase and it was just incredible. And it's something, yeah.
oh my goodness.
It's
Oh,
just something that like there's this reverberation and you think, am I really hearing that or am I not hearing that? Yeah, I'm hearing that. And then you're like, but
remember
wait.
when I started singing, I
Mhm.
hear the sound, and as soon
Yeah.
as I started singing that, something opened up in front of me, and like I saw into the future. So
Yeah.
it's like
Yes.
time went whoop
Yes.
in that instance.
I
So
saw heaven receive the worship in there that night. I saw the atmosphere shift and change, which all has to do with frequency. And frequency, I think, is just kind of maybe the byproduct or the means. I think it's kind of like the means. Everything is absolutely, when it comes to that kind of thing, is supernatural or spiritual. But I think that the frequency is just the vehicle it travels on. Does
yeah.
that make sense? It's not the thing causing it, but it was what it rides on to cause it. It's like I want to hit somebody, like if I have a balled up fist, I want to hit somebody. I'm the driving force behind that punch, but there's my momentum is, like what it rides on, if that makes sense.
I even looked at the music. So um after that, I started, number one, I opened my eyes and I saw that. And finally, when I came out of the woo, whatever that was, they were still playing. And I was looking at the musicians and they were gone.
Yeah.
They were in this weird type of and afterwards they were like, we don't even know. It's like we weren't even playing anymore.
Yeah.
Like something else was happening.
Yeah.
And and so like they've never experienced that before. And there were so many musicians. I was like, there's just little lots in time I'm just like grateful for, but people enjoy things for a little while, but when you have to like continually call, they're like,
Navigate
that's
it.
just I'm gonna go live my own life. And so I was like, what happened? I mean, nothing horrible happened after that. I was so expectant the next time we did something, and I was like, this is gonna be great. It was horrible.
Yep. But we've had some really incredible moments in there,
Mm-hmm.
in that room in particular.
Yeah.
I think that we like plowed that. I think we made an altar to the Lord to create a portal in that living room. Um, for sure. I think that was definitely
Like a supernatural frequency and a natural frequency hit at the same time, and it opened
yeah.
something.
The things
So
that
I think that is like well, okay, so I was listening to a few things from people that have here. Number one, I know people who have gone to these concerts and they've just like, this is the best thing I've ever experienced in my life, and blah blah blah. But I've heard some people saying that they've had really bad experiences going to like okay, let's just say Taylor Swift and Beyonce, and then you have Travis doing that thing,
yeah,
Scott doing that, and so like they've mastered, and we have the ability to do that now because of technology. Like they've mastered that, especially with the light and the sound, because we're light. I mean, really, sound frequency, it's light. I mean, it's just this whole circular thing that happens, but these crazy bad experiences. And so they've mastered it.
I saw a video the other day where someone was saying Taylor Swift's concerts have been tweaked to the point that she can hit every emotional response in her concert that takes you on this ride, and by the like that releases endorphins, and by the end of it you just leave feeling so great. Like you leave and you are so high leaving there, right? Because they've planned it where you tick tick tick, tick even when you buy the tickets for it. You're waiting in line, you're like, oh my gosh, am I gonna get in? Am I gonna get in? Am I gonna get in? And it's like everybody gets in, but you think, oh my gosh, I gotta do this to get in. And they will sell them till they sell out, but it's like pretty much anybody can get in. They're not getting you to get into the concert, but you think that you are, and then you got to go with your friends, so you're going in community and you have to, so you're like having this party to start with to wait and buy tickets, and then you're having this little slumber party, and then there's the excitement of that, and then you guys get dressed up and you go, and it's the Eras tour, right? So you're dressing up with all this nostalgia, and it's like she broke the code, is what they were saying, like here's the nostalgia of Taylor through her seasons, and you get to dress up as your favorite one. And then you go into the concert and her music is like all over the place, the nostalgia, every bit of you growing up, it's just completely built on ticking every box of your emotional response.
And
the manipulation.
Interesting. I'll be honest, like I just knowing like what goes on and the possibilities and those and because we're both so aware of, like, I know frequencies, and there doesn't even have to be a sound in the room. I'll know what is happening. And so it's just like no way are you going to find me in those spots. I probably wouldn't have been able to handle it. So, but it makes me curious. And so, but yeah, it's interesting what they have been able to do, and it's just steamrolling. So whatever this thing is that they've locked into, it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's just becoming like this idol.
Yes. Oh, it's absolutely an idol.
And I know that is so not popular. Like, I love music. I love creativity. I mean, like, there's
Taylor Swift is a legit musician, like, or writer.
Yeah, she's an amazing songwriter. Oh my gosh.
Ridiculous.
Yes. And so, but it's something that's happening right now, and I'm just like, I shall not sit at that table.
I shall not partake in this madness. Well, I mean, okay, so if we break it down to like science, our bodies are what, 85% water or better. And have you seen what frequencies can do to a stream of water?
Yep.
It will bend and twist and move and shape. So when you go to a concert and they start playing sounds and that frequency hits the water in your body.
So what it does is so molecularly it opens up. And so whatever they're saying, it's opening up and making fluid every part of who you're absorbing every single bit of that, and it's coming into you. You're walking away feeling great because there's been movement, but what has been put inside of you is
whatever they want it to be.
Whatever they want it to be.
They want it to be. So I'll say this. I remember showing Megan and my daughter Mari, I remember showing them the video for the Travis Scott thing where everybody was killed, right? Where those people were blood sacrificed. I mean, let's just be real. That's what that was. And I remember sitting at the table and I was like, oh, you guys have to see this video. Just check this out. I turn it on. They didn't even see the video. They heard the frequency and the sound, and immediately they're both singers. Immediately
I was like,
turn it off. And it was like, what? People pay like hundreds of dollars a ticket to go hear this music. And they were like, no, there's something in that sound. I was like, I know, I told you. Oh, I told you there was something in that sound that was messing with,
I'm just like, I no hold bars anymore. Like Billie Eilish is like, I can be in a store and you can barely hear. I don't even know like who's singing.
Mhm.
I can't hear like the song, like you can sort of
You
hear
can feel it.
and all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, because I mean I don't really listen to the radio, so the only time I get that, or if like on a okay, so Sing 2.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
One of the kids were watching and I was in the other room and I don't know what is happening, but it's but the molecular structure in my body like goes berserko.
Response. Yeah.
And so and I was like, "Oh my gosh, what is that?" And then I started listening. I was like, "That's so weird." There's hardly anybody on the radio actually that does that I can recognize that. And so,
Mhm.
but there's a difference between live and, and radio just because there's just so, I mean, there's so much nuance to sound.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like me sending out uh like tracks to I'm like, here's the thing, don't listen to it on your iPhone, any of my sample tracks when I'm recording. I'm like, go listen to it on a good sound system.
You'll hear the layers in it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. You'll
And
hear all the work that's been put into it.
you'll be able to appreciate it. But yeah, it is that, so that I absolutely believe like there's portals that they're opening up with frequency. And I mean, come on, like it ain't light and life and truth that is coming out of there. So there's no middle ground.
Yeah.
And
And
that
I can say this too, like I'm biased, I'm sure I'm biased, but I know that there have been times where I have sat with a handful of our friends in the middle of the night in worship, and you guys will start to harmonize together and you can feel it peeling open the atmosphere, and it's completely different than K-Love or a church service, or I mean it is ridiculous. Like your body responds in a way that you're like, it's like your guts are being like lifted out of your body and you're like, oh my gosh. Like, and it's not like you guys are amazing, but it's not your gifting. It is it's what it creates. It's
Mhm.
what it begins and what it starts. It incites something. And those are the things that like I look for in worship. I can't even go into a lot of, and I know we weren't going to talk about the church. I can't go in a lot of church buildings or services anymore because it's noise. It's
Okay.
just noise, and it can
Oh yeah.
sound pretty sometimes, but it
Hmm.
doesn't sound pretty to me anymore. It all sounds like the playback on the live stream. That's what the live sounds like for me. But
I
I
don't
know.
have, yeah, I don't have taste. I don't like that anymore, only because I have tasted the other stuff. I mean, that's the only way that you walk away from that. You cannot, I don't see how you walk away from that unless you've known the real
Real, yeah.
truth, clean, like, and it's different from just worship.
Yeah.
It,
It
it-
is like pointed, it is directed, there's something birthing out of it. God has his hand on it. He's either receiving it in an incredible way or he's releasing something out of you in an incredible way. It's really kind of symbiotic. It
yeah,
moves. It's like it moves
I
like
don't
love.
understand it. I just am every once in a while,
I don't either, but
like,
I can feel it and I
yeah,
can see it sometimes
yes,
with my,
yes,
like with my
yeah.
spirit man. And I'm
Mhm.
like, wow, okay, and that's the importance of just being together. And I've heard some awful singers hit that.
Me too.
I have been in in most random places and somebody's little kid will get up and they can't carry a tune in a bucket. They're pitchy. And it is so beautiful.
Yeah,
And heaven opens up and the Lord receives it. And I'm going, huh, I'm a jerk if I don't receive that too. Like it's beautiful. You can't help but receive
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's just pure and it's beautiful. It doesn't have to be talent.
No.
Um, But I think there's something to the frequency, the sounds, and the opening of the portals and the transporting of the Lord's blessings. And it's
Yeah.
it just
There's a huge counterfeit right now. Huge.
Yeah.
And it's just so enticing. I mean, it's just like the last time I was with you somewhere. And remember, we walked into that room and I was like, oh, this is amazing. And if I didn't know any better, I mean, I was like, my soul, selfishness,
you feel
longed
the energy in it.
for
You feel
this.
the energy in the room.
Yes.
And
I was
it's
like, oh, it's
huge.
just so yummy to my ears. But I was
Yeah.
like, I knew that it wasn't good.
I only bring Megan in that room when I go, we need to remember, let's walk in here real quick. Let's remember why we do or don't do what we do. Yeah.
And
Because you
it
can
was
also say,
epic. It was
oh,
epic. It's like multi-million-dollar sound studio, like all the
probably
big.
$8 million worth of
Yes.
equipment,
Yes.
ridiculous, massive,
Yeah.
T
Yeah.
Swift level, right? Like it could be any of those things.
I mean, it made me want to buy a navy blue jumpsuit and get up on stage and
All the black
all the
with a
black.
white inspirational t-shirt underneath.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's incredible, but it is not, it's like eating McDonald's. There's no nutrition in it. There's no nutrients. It's awful. It's empty. It's
Yes.
empty calories.
Yeah. But here's what we're doing. I'm like, nope. I said I wasn't going to talk about. So yeah, I'll be honest, it's like last night we have our Sunday suppers for gather people and or the local gather people in the Fort Worth area. It's so weird to start saying that now. And there's no plug-in for anything. And the party was like, oh, like I can't do my like super amazing swelly type stuff, but it was so good. And the Lord was there, and everybody was just in just this sweet space of humility and unity. And there wasn't a lot of people there, but I was like, you know what? Even so tonight I'm going to go do worship for a prayer, and it's nothing. It's unplugged. And I was like, who would have thought I'd be back here doing like in secret little places. And I didn't really want to do like I even last night I was like, I don't just want to sing anymore with other people just to sing songs. Like I'll just go home. Like,
And
oh
see
my
the
gosh.
grandkids. Like I'll just go home and sing with my people.
Like I'll sit in my room and like I just love worshiping the Lord, but I don't want that fight
Yeah.
of overstepping and doing stuff and it being this thing. And so, but it wasn't, and it was good. And I was like, I need to repent. I'm still jet lagged too, so I'm a little tired, but I mean, just seasons are changing, and sometimes I feel amazing about it, and then others I'm like, I'm lonely and
Yeah.
it's wah.
Yeah.
So, but no, yeah, the portal thing is real. And
Can be shifted and manipulated and maneuvered, and it can be used for either side.
mhm,
It has to have I'm sure it has something to do with supernatural being and travel. And I mean, because either side can use it.
yeah.
It's a
Mm,
law of nature or something.
yeah, it's a spiritual law.
Mhm.
And so it's that nuance of um we can like go accessing it. A part of me wants to like master the frequency thing,
Yeah.
but because I feel like it's like because I was listening to a podcast today, and we're gonna talk more about this. We have to, because you're gonna listen to the podcast too. And I was like, we gotta talk about this. Here's the deal: it's like we already talk about it. Like this has already been a thing for us. We've tested it out. You and I, and secretly, because we know what people are saying about it. All the new agey comments, but it hits and resonates sounds and frequencies and hurts, like all the things, if you know anything about that, and it's healing.
Mhm.
I mean, we can like ionize our water,
Yeah.
put it in our bodies. We can put that frequency in water, drink it while it's still, the molecular structure is still moving, and then it transfers into our bodies and creates. And I mean, uh um I use patches that have light there. It's wearable technology that you put on your body, and it emits light into your body, and it recreates stem cells. And so, and of course, we know what stem cells do. They turn into, like, it's
Yeah.
all this is real, and it's the law. It's not even a law of nature, because who created that?
It's just creation.
It's creation. And
Learning how to, and not in a bad way, but how to manipulate creation, how to work creation, how to utilize it,
as the
right?
blessing that it was
Manipulation, not in
intended
a
to be.
not in a negative, but how to, sorry, my hand isn't working right yet. Still, I'm still bruisey, but how to, like, it's pliable, and we
Yeah.
have the ability to bend and move and shift it, right? I was thinking while we were sitting here, of when we were we have some friends who had a wine cellar.
Oh yeah.
Every time I went in there, the Lord gave me a little more piece of the puzzle, because there was just something off in the atmosphere. And I felt like there was a capped well in there. That was the first thing I remember. And it looked like a well, like blocks built around in a circle, and it was capped off. And then I asked the Lord, like, okay, so why is it capped off? And then I noticed that there were bones laying on top of that capped well. And I feel like there was a sacrifice that had been made there to cap off that access point and that well. And we would go in there, tons of people went in there and worshiped, prayed over the place, whatever. And we went in there with our friend Sterling and a bunch of other people. And when we went in there, he took this machine and he measured the frequency, and it was 666.
So weird. That is so bizarre.
It was 666 in there. And then when we worshiped in there for a little while, and I know Megan and I got on our faces. This is how the Lord does us. It's kind of funny. But we both got on our faces, and we're like face down on this cold stone, and I kept thinking about these bones on this capped well. And then I start to see flowers grow, and like almost like butterflies, like little float out of it or whatever. And then we start smelling this smell. We're like, oh, I know. I know that I looked up and I looked at her, and she looked at me. We're both like, yep. And we nodded our heads, because
Sulfur.
it was sulfur. When when the deliverance of a thing happens, it oftentimes that will be a smell. You'll smell. It's
Rotten egg smell.
rotten eggs. Yeah, I know. So I just remember that, and I remember thinking, like, man, it was a well, but it felt like an access point. And so I'm thinking, like, that was some sort of there were ley lines in that area and all kinds of weird stuff. Oh, hi, Banksy. My doggy's here. If you're not on camera, you're missing out. There she is. Yeah. So it was interesting. Go on. Go on, dog.
And afterwards, we measured the frequency again in there, and it had changed.
Yeah, it was for something. I can't remember.
Which is good. It would have been awesome if it was 528. That was healing.
Yeah, right? Dutch, go on. My dogs are attacking me. We're talking about portals, and
that's so crazy.
They're like, wait, I want to go there.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So, like,
I think we'll dive into this more.
Yeah.
I want to educate myself better on more frequencies and stuff.
Oh, for sure.
What they mean. I have a list somewhere of like what happens in different frequencies.
Yeah.
And I know it has to do with chakras and where that aligns in our bodies.
I know.
Those are access points. Those certain frequencies hit us in different places, because I've looked into the singing bowls, and you have ones that go into certain places in your body, and they really do.
They do.
You feel it in your body in different places. So there are frequencies we feel in different spots. What was it? I was listening to somebody, and they were talking about actually, it's kind of crazy. I was watching what's it called? The Soft White Underbelly video.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and so with Mark Leda, and there was this girl who, well, lady who, her dad had been part of the mafia. He was like a mob boss. And throughout all this trauma and stuff, she discovers that she's like a psychic medium and a lesbian, and she's got all the things. I'm like, wow, you just hit the jackpot, didn't you? You won the lottery. And but anyway, so she was talking about getting sick 2 days after coming out to her family, and she got sick and it was in her throat and she felt like she couldn't talk, and there was something about the frequency that makes you sick and it hits you in the throat and has to do with your voice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, okay, all
Is
right.
it G? Is it G the one that gets you?
I don't know if it's G. G is such a common one for you
It
guys.
releases frequent and hits you in the throat? I don't want to go researching because you had one.
G or
A
F.
or I don't know. So it works. I mean, we've done it. I'm like, here.
Yeah, I'm gonna find that list and look again. I think the one I had was an F.
Okay.
I think
Well,
it was, and I
so,
will find out and I will do more and we'll talk about this again.
but okay, let's go back to portals though. Yeah, I think they just open up dimensionally, what's already there. It's almost like they bring it to light, what we can't see, like,
breaking a membrane.
yeah, maybe like that. So,
When you break the water, like you break
but there's something very significant to all these stages doing this. So it's
I agree.
really
They're
interesting.
bringing something, and I don't know if they even realize what
Yeah.
they do.
Somebody does.
Somebody does.
They realize it, but somebody does. So
Somebody really knows what they're doing.
yeah.
And Taylor Swift also has like a very witchcrafty scene that has been portrayed 100 times online, where they're all in dark cloaks and they have red lining and just very very witchcrafty in her tour. So
Wow.
pretty sad.
Oh, and we've lost all the Swifties.
So sad. Sorry guys. Megan wants to be a secret Swiftie, but she can't be because it's just wrong.
I just like her songwriting ability.
Right, I know. I want to be a Swiftie too, but that's the devil. I can't do it. Sorry, T Swift.
Oh man, I know.
We love you, Taylor. Come back.
It's so weird. Like music is such a powerful Pied Piper into so many things that we're not aware of. And so, I mean, even like different frequencies make you feel sad or irritated. I mean, like I am the poster person of like sad music. And so, but I used to be because I'm like super high strung,
So you need to
and
be back down to earth.
so like I always listened to sad music, which was bizarre, thinking about it now, but I just like that low melancholy, like those notes.
The balance.
Yeah. So, but I still have to watch it. Thank goodness there are people that are making music that is great, but in that type of, like feel that I think is just, pretty on point because I don't really listen to a lot of like worship music. Go figure.
Me either.
And so the other day I started dabbling in it and like checking in on things that I used to do that. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not that it's bad, because I liked a few songs about this. There was a clip on social media and I was like, that's really good. Then I started listening to just all the other stuff and I was like, but that was a great little part in that song that I really liked. So I tried. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I'm just in a different
I
spot.
don't know, maybe there is.
So
Well, they're navel-centered worship songs and not heaven-centered worship songs.
yeah, what's beautiful is I was driving down the road and I was listening to something and I started like being reminded of some other people that have been coming out with some music and I was like, okay, there's a renaissance happening because this is renaissance sounding where they're singing songs about change. And so so like probably not this one, like we're gonna go into a series of I want to, but like go into a series called Life After the Pews, like life outside of the pews, and it's based on a line from a song that is I just love, like give me something that doesn't weather from its use. And
Yep.
so
Yes.
there's like, and I'm like, yeah, that's the kingdom, and he's really just like, but he's being nostalgic of I don't want to go into it because I really want to talk about it like in depth of like he's like, but I keep going back to all these pictures of the idea and I went, it's too precious, but I can't like, he's having this love-hate struggle of being outside of the very thing that he helped build.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I understand that completely. And it's so beautiful how vulnerable, and you can hear like the awkwardness even in the beauty of the songwriting of it and some of the pain of it. Like I don't want to lose us. That's the song. It's just so good. And so it's like even having these conversations about portals and about Israel and about real things, about kingdom things, and that are still so necessary and like and vital, and we need to talk about it, but it gets just so muddied.
Mm-hmm.
And all the conflict of the state of the body of Christ and the way it should be. And
Get high centered on the wrong things.
yeah.
It's interesting. I'm just sitting here at my table finally because my stuff was lost with U-Haul. Negative plug for U-Haul to all 5 of you listening. So U-Haul had lost all of our stuff for a time, and I just got my kitchen table back, and my husband told me, he was like, hey, just so you know, in order to fit it in the box where I could get it here, I had to take your church pew completely apart. And I had a church pew that was at my table because I have a really long old table, and it's a church pew from the same county that my family is from in West Virginia, and it was like 100 or more years old. And he had to take that pew apart and dismember it. Pretty much it's gonna have to be refinished and put back together. And we still have all the old nails and all the things, but he had to completely disassemble it in order to put it in the box. And I'm going, okay, all right. Eat in the place.
That's exhausting.
Yeah, I have to take apart what I'm seated on in order to bring the important bits with me. Basically, I have to restructure it. I had to make it fit.
Yeah.
In order to have it come with me.
Oh my
so
goodness.
The Lord is like, get rid of all of it.
Yeah. Well, it's like my fish. And it's so weird, like the little nuances of, so after my friend died in 2021, it was just rough. And I remember I was in Florida with you at that house that you're at right now. And when I got back, there was a fish in a fish tank in my bedroom, and I just freaked out. I was like, I don't want to take care of anything right now. I don't have the capacity to take care of a fish. I don't know how to take care of a fish. And I can't, I know this sounds so dumb, but you know, when you're like in the middle of stuff, everything's so just, and I was like, I can't have anything else die. I'm not gonna, I don't want to wake up and roll over and see a fish dead in my tank. And it was really hard. And it was supposed to be a sweet gesture, you know, like, you know, I mean, I'm living in a room that's not my
Swimming.
house. And so like it was like, here's something I had to get rid of, like my cat and my friend died. Oh, there's so many things that were happening. And so while I was in Germany, uh Derek came back to just get stuff ready for me to come home. And he's like, so Elton died. And I knew, but it was like at that moment, like a season, I let that thing, I was so particular about feeding that. When I got back, um, I have this routine, like I get up out of bed, I make my bed, I go over to here, I open up my blind, and then I go over to the tank, turn the light on, feed the fish, and then I go and do my thing. And I got up, opened my blind, and I shifted over there to do that, and it wasn't there anymore. And it was like the Lord is like, that season is over.
Unavailable to you anymore.
It's unavailable to me. And then so I show this to you, which I wonder what you're gonna get for your cue. So the day I found out that Elton died, I mean, like I talked to this fish. It was so fun. Like he had the most epic little tank. Like I have so many things I put in there, like a huge seashell, a narwhal, like rainbow stuff.
One
Like
little 10-cent fish.
for one little
Yeah.
then I got
Oh,
well, and a huge Kinder Egg. My kids, they came in. It was, and they were like, "We found a huge Kinder Egg and we bought it for you." And I'm like, "Oh my, I didn't even know." I'm like, you know, opening up this, and this huge whale came in there, and it was, and look, it even moves.
oh, it's gonna be a whale of a tail.
It's gonna be a whale of a tail. And it was almost like, this is actually bigger than my fish that I had. And
Yeah.
it's
You
a
fit like 4 of your fish in that whale.
yes. And so it was just a remind, like I don't know what is happening, but like there is life outside.
Yeah. Plastic mechanical. No.
Plastic. It was just a representation, and I can take this anywhere with me and it's not gonna die.
Yeah. It's gonna last forever.
Part of me is like, dear Lord, am I gonna travel more? Because this last year I haven't been home at all. So but yeah, anyways, I'm still praying that my luggage comes in from London with some very special things that are irreplaceable. And so oh yeah, but plus my docs, I was like, I need my docs today, but
Those have been everywhere. I know
I
mine.
know they have
Even
been
looking for her, it's
everywhere.
like, where are my dogs? I'm like, I don't know where mine are, but it's 100 degrees outside. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So I'm excited to see what the Lord does about the pew for you.
Pew,
But I know that's what I thought in my
I'll make it 2.
so yeah. So just be aware. Like I'm so glad that you notice things like that. Like I probably wouldn't have noticed all the things, all the little portal shapes, and then with the one inside the church, I was like, like
Yeah.
that's weird.
I was like, oh my gosh, it's leaking in. And the well, as I'm sitting here analyzing it in my brain, I'm going, the one in the church was so much smaller than the other ones. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
No. Yeah.
The angelic help wouldn't need portals to access anything if we would just purify the land and liberate.
Yeah.
If there was still a garden, they wouldn't need all that.
Yeah. There's more than just aesthetics to things. And
Yeah.
I'll be honest, the circle is very significant. It's a good thing. But I mean, it's like a wheel. I mean, there's so many
Wheel.
yeah, wheel within a wheel. There's so many things that we could like go off on that on, but just being aware
Circumpunct. The
of
circle inside a circle.
yes, the nuances and just as my little Mario, like
Oh, I thought maybe you got a tattoo. I wasn't gonna say anything. I thought maybe you got a
seriously not gonna have it on my wrist. I
Oh
do.
my-
I was supposed to get a tattoo while I was out, and I never when I was overseas, but whatever.
I think we should schedule a tattoo time when I come in November.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Yes. So sorry, all you Swifties and like Beyonce lovers and things like that. I'm so
And all the single ladies.
yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're just sort of, given a pulse of what is happening and like what to be aware of.
Yeah, we're gonna dive more into this for sure because there's
Yeah.
stuff I want to talk about, but my brain's fried at this point in the day.
Yeah, I know, me too. So, yeah, I want to do some more research on the circle and the quantum physics of it too. But I thought that was a really good dropping point. And I really want to start talking about life outside the pews or life beyond whatever. I am fried.
On top of the pews. That's what Megan means because she has danced on them before. I've seen her.
In the spirit.
Yeah, there's that.
Okay, guys. Well, hey, go make good frequency with your life.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Get your pH in alignment, balance your body.
Yes. Watch what you say.
Same thing as a weird frequency.
It's sounding a little religious. I don't like that. And so
Put your cell phone in your living room when you go to bed at night.
yes, turn your Wi-Fi off at night. You know what? You should just put an EMF cut canvas over your house.
You should tinfoil your head before you go to sleep.
We're just joking, sort of.
Yeah. I don't know if I trust tinfoil yet. I haven't deep dived on that one.
No, tinfoil's not good.
Aluminum's not good for you.
Aluminum is not good. And so
Prenatal detox, no more Metallica. Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, until next time, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for joining us here at The Shift. If this podcast encouraged you or you have questions, please connect with us at theshiftpodcast.info. Make the shift.